this morning, sun's a bit hazy. Checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert. But we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it, guys. Let's kick this can, guys. Let's do it. My name is Ron Tyler. I'm the president of Emergency Management Associates. We're on the air for you 24/7 if need be. We've done it before during the great big huge earthquakes in Ridgecrest, California back in 2019. Again, we're on the air again for many, many hours during the earthquakes in Puerto Rico. Also, December 2019, we'll do it again if necessary. We're always on the air for you whenever it's necessary to be there, to give you the latest information about things that are happening. Now, something that's happened during the last few days that we were not on the air for, we were told to keep our big mouths shut. Yes, on Sunday, we're told to keep our big mouths shut about a huge chemical problem in Los Angeles. Huge chemical problem in Los Angeles, guys. We're told to keep our big mouths shut about that until today. Now, I'm going to show you some chemical plants right now that are in peril. This one in California is still in peril, but they think they have it solved. This one is in Los Angeles area, Orange County. The chemical leak that triggered the evacuations across the swath of Orange County on Friday, in the Saturday and even yesterday, was located at GKN Aerospace, a manufacturing company based in Britain. A leading aerospace firm, GKN Aerospace in Britain. The company manufactures landing gear, jet engines, and other material for commercial and military aircraft. GKN Aerospace's Garden Grove facility sits on 15.5 acres of land on Western Avenue, designs, analyzes, and tests and certifies military canopies, cockpit windows, and passenger windows. All evacuation orders tied to a failing chemical tank in Southern California that sparked fears of a catastrophic explosion have been lifted. Again, I want to make this very clear. All evacuation orders in the area of Garden Grove, California have been lifted. Okay? This chemical leak that started on Friday has now been under control. The Orange County Fire Authority, the OCFA, said in a social media post that officials have determined there's no threat of an explosion, fire, or even a chemical leak, and no risk to the public. On Monday, officials announced the evacuation zone was shrinking after the worst case scenario of a catastrophic explosion had been averted. But 16,000 people remained under evacuation orders until today. Yesterday, early Tuesday, officials said the temperature inside the tank was holding steady at 92 degrees with only the use of on-site sprinklers to keep it cool. Once what they call the methyl methacrylate, the chemical that was inside the tank cools, it turns into a solid, the threat of a release goes away. Orange County Fire Department Captain Weihao Huang said at a press conference yesterday evening, no chemicals leaked out and there's nothing in the air. The most catastrophic and worst case scenario was mitigated and resolved. According to county authorities from the fire department, Orange County, Interim Chief T.J. McGovern said during a news conference, the evacuation orders were first pared back. The tank is located again at an aerospace facility in Garden Grove, California, about 30 miles south of Los Angeles, near Anaheim, California. During the height of the crisis, when officials thought they faced only two options, an explosion or a chemical spill, about 50,000 people in the city of Garden Grove and several surrounding communities were under evacuation orders. The situation began unfolding on Thursday last week. A chemical tank filled with toxic chemicals at GKN Aerospace, again a manufacturing company, builds engines, landing gear for commercial military aircraft, was showing signs of overheating. The chemical tank, the methyl methacrylate, showed signs of overheating, which could cause it to overheat or explode. The 34,000 gallon tank contained methyl methacrylate, an industrial chemical used in plastic manufacturing, according to OCFA. The chemical is primarily a respiratory irritant. The short-term exposure can cause skin and eye irritation, as well as breathing problems, according to EPA. The unprecedented situation caused officials to order about 50,000 people in the vicinity to evacuate in case of a leak, sent toxic fumes wafting around through the neighborhoods, or cause an explosion which could result in a very dangerous fireball to all the communities in the nearby area. California Governor Gavin Newsom, he issued a state of emergency in Orange County in response to the incident. Authorities said a crack in the tank discovered by firefighters late Saturday relieved some of the pressure within the tank. While officials were confident that the crack wouldn't lead to any other chemical leaks, they continue to monitor the air quality in the region. In a statement late Monday, GKN Aerospace noted that its technical specialists worked with the Fire Association to assess the storage tank more closely on Sunday evening. The team safely and successfully removed external insulation material from the outside of the tank in order to help advance efforts to cool its contents inside the tank. Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer, the top prosecutor in Garden Grove, has launched a criminal probe into the ongoing chemical tank incident at GKN Aerospace. According to the company, they're not to destroy or manipulate any records. Again, the Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer, who's the top prosecutor in Garden Grove, launched a criminal probe into the ongoing chemical tank incident, GKN Aerospace in Garden Grove, ordering the company, do not destroy or manipulate any records. The probe seeks to determine how a major military commercial aircraft gear manufacturer could allow such a toxic failure to occur. This is an incredible, volatile situation with extraordinary efforts being made by first responders to prevent a potentially catastrophic disaster. Spicer also established an anonymous tip line, an online reporting forum calling on anyone with information to come forward, including current and former employees of the company who might offer insight into the quality control and safety at the site. Given the very real risk to human life as a result of this event, it is crucial that anyone who has information about this incident or the industrial operations of GKN Aerospace in Garden Grove, California, to come forward and report it so that it can be thoroughly investigated by law enforcement. GKN has declined to comment specifically on the district attorney's investigation, but pointed to its Monday statement. They still say they are innocent. They say we are continuing to work around the clock with the Fire Authority and the EPA on all relevant federal, state, and local agencies to mitigate the risk of a leak. We remain extremely thankful for their dedication and hard work, according to the company. We apologize for any ongoing disruption this incident has caused. Our primary priority remains to safely have a resolution of this incident so residents can return to their homes as quickly as possible. That's coming out of Orange County, California. This has been an ongoing situation. The Fire Authority in Orange County is continuing to monitor this situation. They're still there spraying cold water on that tank to make sure that the tank remains cold enough where that chemical inside that tank remains a solid and not a gas. Above a certain temperature, and I don't know what the temperature is, but above a certain temperature, that methylcrylate turns into a gas. And at that point in time, once the temperature rises inside that tank, the pressure increases and can cause an explosion. They're continuing to make sure they can keep this tank cooler to make sure this chemical inside that tank remains a solid until they find out how they can safely evacuate the chemical from that tank into other tanks or any other safe location to prevent this from happening again. Okay, so this is still an ongoing issue in Garden Grove, California, and we're going to monitor this, even though up until yesterday we're told to keep our big mouths shut. We're going to monitor this and put it out anyway. Okay, now there's something else that's happening. Something else big is happening. That is coming out of Washington State. There are 9 people missing at the paper plant in Washington State. Okay, 9 people missing after the Washington paper plant tank implosion. An implosion, guys. Crews resume searching today for 9 more workers at a Washington paper mill where a tank imploded, releasing a highly destructive chemical mixture called white liquor and causing at least 1 confirmed death. Now, I have a report that I'm going to play for you in just a couple of minutes of at least one of the person that has been found. Authorities said there's no hope of finding more survivors of Tuesday's tank implosion at the Nippon Dynawave Packaging Company in Longview, Washington, which also injured 9 other people. Okay? Before any bodies can be recovered, crews today had to first stabilize the tank, which was at risk of collapsing, as you can see on the slide here. Okay? This tank was at risk of collapsing further and leaking more of the caustic liquid. The implosion caused a huge circular tank to buckle and collapse on one side. Officials said they would only work during daylight hours because of the danger, while the cause of the collapse remains unknown. Authorities said there was no threat to the community, a Columbia River city of about 40,000 people with long ties to the Washington, Oregon paper mill and lumber industries. This was a second notable issue with the chemical in days on the West Coast. I just got through covering the chemical release in Garden Grove, California, in the Los Angeles, Orange County area. This is the second one. The evacuation of thousands of people in Southern California due to the overheated tank, the GKN aerospace plant, was lifted last night. Paper mill here was holding over 900,000 gallons, 3.4 million liters of liquid made of mostly sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfide, known as white liquor. It is used with heat to break down wood to make craft paper, a durable material used in packaging, shopping bags, and other products. The sprawling plant, which employs about 1,000 people, made material for tissue, printing paper, cups, plates, and cartons. It sits alongside the riverbank next to other timber and paper chemical businesses. Authorities have not released the name of the person whose death was confirmed or the names of those people who are still missing, but some names began trickling out. Todd Cornwell said his friend Gilbert Bernal was an electrician at the plant and was the first confirmed death that they knew each other through church, through the same scripture study group, he said. We actually had our group meeting last night. Instead of doing Bible study, we talked about him. He was always there helping, willing to help in whatever way needed to be done. When the local church schools started flooding, he is one of the first people that was there. Brian Wilcate, a chemical supplier for the region's mills, was at the plant yesterday morning when he heard an alarm over the intercom and first wondered if it was a drill. He was able to get out safely, didn't see any other damage. It's just unfathomable, he said at a community vigil Tuesday night. There's not anybody that can do that lives here. There's not anybody that lives here that doesn't know somebody at that paper mill. Chris Moldenhauer, also Longview resident, said she has friends at the plant who remain unaccounted for. She said people called and texted each other all day long trying to figure out what happened. We're all still waiting for answers. There's families that have been torn apart, and we don't know why. The cause of the implosion at this plant remains unclear. Nippon Paper Company, in a statement today, said it was offering its deepest condolences and heartfelt sympathies to the bereaved families. Scott Goldstein, a fire chief of Cowlitz County, said last night that the tank still held about 90,000 gallons, more than 340,000 liters of the volatile liquid. We don't know until we know. Hopefully today we can stabilize that tank, and if we can, we'll start some removal of the product first, but just as soon as the tank is stabilized first. We must stabilize this tank first. Hours after the first disaster, officials repeatedly referred to the situation as a recovery effort. A recovery effort, guys. Some of those who were first injured suffered burns and inhalation injuries. They suffered burns and inhalation injuries. Following the tank's rupture, the liquid liquor spilled into a drainage ditch. That's according to Brittany Goodsell, a state ecology department spokesman. I know there are a lot of questions about how all this happened, and I want to assure you that we will all continue to put pressure on the agency and the company to get the answers to the questions. Safety complaints were filed against Nippon Dynawave in March and May this year. The state's Labor and Industries Department said on X that both of those were unrelated to the current incident. Both those complaints were unrelated to this current incident. One was an anonymous complaint about a valve on a tank, according to the department, which noted that it was not the tank that imploded. Nippon Dynawave, a subsidiary of Japan-based Nippon Paper Group, has been fined $3,400 of 3 separate health and safety violations found by Washington Department of Labor and industry inspectors. That is since the start of 2021. Okay? Just over 40 people died between January 2021 and mid-October 2023 as a result of hazardous chemical incidents in the United States. That's according to a paper released by the Network of Environmental Justice Organizations in late 2023. Now, guys, underneath this video today, in our program description, about halfway down through the program description, you're going to find a link to a website, a chemical incident website, where you're going to find out more information about what they're doing to clean up this incident and the incident in California as well. Again, I have that located in about the center portion of this program description directly beneath this video today. So you can go there and get more information about that. Do we have any more questions about anything happened in California or the chemical leak in Washington? This is still a big deal, and both chemical leaks are still being investigated, and both tanks are not completely empty, and they're going to empty those tanks sometime in the next few days, hopefully by this weekend. Okay? Does anybody have any questions so far? Minority reporters here in the chat saying she lives 3 miles away. I would be really upset being that close. I would be really upset living that close, because my home, your home, is your sanctuary. Your home is your safety place away from the storm, away from everything else. Okay? Now, before I go further, I'm going to play a video in just about a minute. But before I do that, I would ask everybody that's here, everybody that's listening to our program tonight, to please subscribe to our program. Please subscribe to our program. Directly beneath this video today, you're going to see a subscribe button. Click on that. Subscribe to our program. When you do that, there's also one other button right next to the subscribe button. There's a little bell icon. Click on that little bell icon. That will get you notified when we come on the air. When you click on that bell icon, there's a drop-down menu, 3 items. Click on the word ALL to get notified when we come on the program. Come on the program sometime between 4 and 5 p.m. usually, Monday through Friday, here in the Eastern Time Zone. Between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time, here in the Eastern Time Zone, Monday through Friday. But we will come on the air anytime, at any time, day or night, Monday through Sunday, if necessary. As soon as we have the information about whatever's going on, we'll bring it to your attention as soon as we get the information. That's the basic part of that. As soon as we have the information available, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it. We've done that religiously over the last 7 years. We came on the air for the first time on April 3rd, 2019. Now it's been over 7 years later. We're still on the air to talk about it. We will always be here for you. Talk about incidents can affect you and your families. We want to make sure we can help protect everybody. We talk about emergencies and disasters on this program, from tornadoes to cyclones, to hurricanes, to fires, to floods, heavy rain, and such. We talked about fires, wildfires. We talked about live fire incidents, meaning people shooting others. We've done that. I'm an ex-cop. I will report whatever I can report as soon as I get the information. I promise you that. That is our philosophy. That's been our main site since we've been on the air. Now, I want to go over here to the video coming out of Washington State today. Let's play this for you. Here is where they're going to talk about a second victim that was found.
We're following new developments in the deadly implosion at a Longview paper mill. We just learned a second person has been confirmed dead. Another 8 people, including a firefighter, are recovering from injuries. 9 others are still unaccounted for. We're waiting to learn more details during a 1 o'clock press conference. We'll bring that to you live when it happens. Overnight, we learned more about one man who had passed away. Gilbert Bernal was an electrician who worked for the Nippon Dynawave for 15 years. He's described as a dedicated family man and known as everybody's friend. Right now, King 5's Drew Mickelson is in Longview with the latest on recovery efforts. Drew?
Well, Sharon, we just got an update from first responders who tell us today is going to be Recovery Day here in Longview. As you mentioned, 9 of those employees from Nippon Dynawave remain unaccounted for. We saw some of the recovery crews arriving earlier this morning, including members of the Washington State National Guard. They are here along with investigators from the U.S. Chemical Safety and Hazard Board. Now, you'd think that this happened more than 24 hours ago. Why weren't the recovery efforts happening then? Well, it's just been too dangerous to get back in there. This is a 900,000-gallon tank that was holding a very volatile liquid, this white liquor, and the structural integrity of that area just made it too dangerous for folks to go back in there yesterday. But we're told that today they're going to try to get back in there. We did fly our drone overhead just about an hour ago, and we didn't see anyone in that direct area where this rupture happened right about 7:15 yesterday. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson told us last night that all state resources are being made available to help with the investigation and these recovery efforts.
We'll be here to do everything we can to help with the situation, and we'll be here as long as it takes.
Our first responders and our emergency room workers, our nurses, and many people here have seen truly unthinkable horrors today. And so as we pursue the dual imperative of getting answers, I'm profoundly encouraged by how many people are checking in on each other.
We've seen a lot of federal folks arriving here, but also plenty of locals who have been on this scene nonstop, including the Cowlitz County Coroner's Office. The EPA, the State's Department of Ecology, are also monitoring the air and water quality around here. And at this point, there are no risks to the surrounding area right next to this massive industrial area here, right along the Columbia River. As you mentioned, we do believe that there will be a 1 o'clock press conference held here at the headquarters. We will, of course, be here on the scene and have that for you live. And we may, at that point, find out some of the more totals as far as names go and the casualties and how many, if any, others have actually been accounted for out here. Live in Longview, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
Thank you, Drew. Live in Longview all day for us. And it was an emotional night in Longview. The community came together for a vigil for the victims of the implosion. More than 100 people attended the event at R.A. Long Park, about 2 miles from the paper mill. We spoke with community members who told us this was the most tragic thing that's ever happened in Longview.
It's a huge part of our community. If we didn't have our mill workers, the town would probably face a steady decline. They're hardworking people.
I was taught in the old days not to really cry, but men do cry sometimes when real tragic things happen. I had a few tears at this vigil because it was so sad.
Community members are still waiting to learn if they know the victims who are still missing. They're hoping for more answers in the next few days. Coming up in our next half hour.
Okay, that's a report out of Longview, Washington, earlier today. Now, I tried checking on King 5 News just a few minutes ago, and I did not find an update of the meeting that was being held at 1 o'clock today in that specific time. That was 4 p.m. our time here on the East Coast. That's one of the reasons I started just close to 4:30, is I wanted to try to bring that report to you, but they're still not in there about that yet. It's supposed to be a press conference, okay? As soon as if we're still in the air, as soon as that press conference is being held, we'll come on the air to give you that information. Now, guys, again, if you're here watching our program, please subscribe to our program. Also, click on that notification bell to get you notified when we come on the program. One other thing we need you to do, okay? Below our video today in the bottom of the program here, you see our 2 PayPal locations. Ignore the Venmo, but our 2 PayPal locations are here for you to be able to contribute to keep this program on the air. That's very important. We need your contributions to keep this program in the air. When I first started this program some 7+ years ago, over 7 years ago, I did not realize that it cost money to keep these programs on the air. I'm paying $258 a month, $258 a month for bandwidth alone. Bandwidth alone. That does not even come near what is going to keep this program in the air. When I have to hire investigators, I need a slush fund to hire these investigators to go out and pull information for me. I do that. Okay? So please, guys, please help keep this program in the air by donating to our program here with our PayPal locations. Now, we also have our email here available for you. Our email address is rltnspdema@gmail.com. That's our email address where you can send us comments, criticisms, even ideas what you'd like to see on this program. Yes, we talk about earthquakes. We talk about tornadoes. We talk about hurricanes. We talk about fires. We talk about floods. We talk about almost anything else that constitutes a disaster. In fact, we've even covered train derailments that release chemicals into the environment. We talk about live shootings as well. Cover about just about everything. So guys, if you have anything you'd like to comment about us, do that to our email. Also, directly beneath this program today, directly below this video, YouTube will make areas available to comment on what you think about this program. So there you can go and leave us positive comments, what you think about Emergency Management Associates, the program we're giving you today. Please do that. We appreciate any positive comments that you can give us. Also, please give us a big thumbs up. That's a big deal. Okay? YouTube uses several analytical factors that they use to even decide whether they're going to let anybody else on YouTube see our program. One of those is the number of people watching our program. Number 2, the length of time you're on the program watching it. So please, guys, please stick around us for as long as you possibly can to get the information we have for you. That's important. Number 3, the number of likes. The number of likes. Number 4, the comments you leave below our video here. They look at those comments. We also use them to decide things we want to talk about, things we may want to continue to talk about when we're talking about severe incidents like we have today. Okay? Now, guys, we have a lot to talk about yet. Okay? I'm going to talk about some earthquakes now. I want to talk about some earthquakes. Let's go over and open up the USGS map now. Okay? I'm going to take down our EMA banner here. I'm going to take down our webcam here for the time being. I will put the webcam back up in a little bit as soon as we have information to show you here. Up here in the northwestern Pacific Ocean, this is the Russia-Kamchatka Peninsula here on the left-hand side of your screen. The Russia-Kamchatka Peninsula here. Last year, we had many, many earthquakes here. The earthquakes are continuing. We had 6.5 very strong earthquakes. We had 6.7, 6.8. Then suddenly we had 7.0 major earthquakes. Even what they said was a 7.88 that I determined was actually an 8.2 major quake. Anything over 7.0 was a major quake. USGS said it was a 7.8 earthquake. I determined it was 4 times stronger than that. 8.2 major earthquake. We are still seeing aftershocks from those earthquakes today. Those aftershocks from those earthquakes are continuing now and probably will continue for maybe months and even years. Months and even years from now. This is a 4.7 moderate earthquake here, southeast of the Kamchatka Peninsula here. Notice where this earthquake is at. Notice where this earthquake is at. It's on the edge of the plate here. On the edge of the plate. When we have that 7.88 or 8.2 major earthquake that we talked about just a minute ago, that was a record-breaking earthquake. That was actually a complete plate rupture. With the two plates, the Pacific plate that subducts under the obtuse plate. The C of obtuse is out here. Okay? Here, the Pacific plate subducts under the obtuse plate. This was a complete plate rupture where the Pacific plate completely moved away from the obtuse plate. 8.2 major quake. That's one reason why we still have aftershocks today. The Earth here is still trying to get back to where it was before the major quake happened. That probably is not going to happen. That probably is not going to happen. Over here to the east, right here, what you see right here is the Rat Islands, belonging to Alaska. This is a 4.6 moderate earthquake here in the Rat Islands. This is also 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. This earthquake over here, off the coast of Kamchatka Peninsula, was also 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep here. Okay? We'll go further over here to the northeast here, right here. This is a small 3.94 earthquake. This is 101 miles west-southwest of Aveyah, Alaska. 3.0 small quake here. This is a 2.6 minor earthquake here. This is a 3.0 earthquake here, still a small quake here. This is a 3.0 earthquake as well. All of these earthquakes are 6.2, 10 kilometers deep. Go further out here to the east. We're going through the Aleutian Island fault zone here. Going through the Aleutian Island fault zone, which is actually a huge undersea ridge here. Huge undersea ridge here, guys. It's also the edge of the plate, edge of the Pacific plate here. This is a 2.7 minor earthquake here. Going over here south of the Alaska Peninsula, we have a 3.2 small earthquake here. Going north here, right here. Here we have a 2.2 earthquake here, south of Kodiak Island. 2.2 minor earthquake here, 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Closer to shore here, or closer to the peninsula here, this is a 2.93 earthquake. Also 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Over here off the southwest coast of Kodiak Island, right here, 1.7 tremor. Going further north here, a 2.0 earthquake. We'll go across the Cook Inlet here. The body of water here going through by the peninsula of Alaska here, and Kodiak Island is called the Cook Inlet. Go across the Cook Inlet to what? Old Iliamna volcano here. Old Iliamna volcano, you see a red earthquake. The red means it just happened. It remains red for about 30, 40 minutes. Here we have a 1.0 tremor here, near Old Iliamna volcano, near the foothills of the volcano here. This earthquake is approximately 5.3 miles deep. 5.3 miles deep. About 4 kilometers deep. 4 kilometers deep. We can scroll out here. Back here, right here. I'm sorry, we did that, Kodiak Island's there. Go up here further north here to the west. 2.4 earthquake here. Okay. This is 35 miles southeast of Kokonik, Alaska. 2.4 minor earthquake. I'm going to say right now, anywhere between a 2.0 2.9 earthquake are minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes cannot be felt at all unless you're very, very sensitive. You might feel a 2.7, 2.8, or even a 2.9, but you're not going to feel a 2.4 minor earthquake. They're not feelable. Up here to the north here, 1.5 tremor. Back out here in the Cook Inlet, this is another 2.0 earthquake. We go up further here to the north here, in the Cook Inlet here. Guys, this is a 2.7 earthquake here. Allegedly 27 miles west-northwest of Anchor Point. Interesting. Anchor Point is right in here. Okay, this is in the Cook Inlet here. 2.7 minor earthquake. This is a 1.5 tremor here. 1.5 tremor. We go north here. I'm coming back down to the other side of the peninsula here. This is the 2.0 earthquake here. 5 miles east-southeast of Ninilchik, Alaska. Now, you see this island here in the Cook Inlet here? We go straight over here. This is Mount Redoubt Volcano. Mount Redoubt Volcano. Mount Redoubt Volcano is exhibiting signs of minor tremors here. Only minor tremors. Yes, we've had minor tremors, we've had minor earthquakes, we even had small earthquakes in the past. Right now, Mount Redoubt is basically calmed down. No signs of eruption right now at Mount Redoubt at all. Nothing happening. Nothing happening at all. Then we go further up here to the north. Right here. As you can see, this is southwest of Anchorage. This is the 1.6 tremor here. We'll go over here to the eastern peninsula here. This is another 2.0 earthquake. We further go out here towards Cadillac, Alaska. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. Now I want to go over here towards Anchorage, Alaska here. Towards Anchorage, Alaska. Right here, this is a 1.7 tremor here. 15 miles southwest of Seton, Alaska. Just barely north of Anchorage. This is a 2.2 minor earthquake. Anchorage is the capital of Alaska here. This is only a minor 2.2 earthquake here. 2.2 minor earthquake here. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Going over here to the northeast here. 2.3 minor earthquake here. 2.3 minor earthquake here. Now, let's go over here to Denali, Alaska. North of Mount McKinley. North of Mount McKinley here, Denali National Park. This is a 2.1 minor earthquake here. 2.1 minor earthquake north of Mount McKinley, Denali National Park. 2.1 minor earthquake. Just to the northwest of Denali here is another 2.1 earthquake here. USGS is saying this is 10 miles east-northeast of Denali. It's not. It's northwest of Denali, as you can see. East is out here. West is over here on the western side of Denali National Park. Again, I want to emphasize that USGS still cannot get its directions right. They can't get their directions right at all, ever. Ever, guys. I'm going to emphasize ever here. Now, I want to go over here towards Fairbanks, Alaska here. You see some tremors here. This is a 1.1 tremor here. 30 miles south of Van Horn, Alaska. Over here to the east here, 1.4 tremor here. This is 2 miles south of Salcha, Alaska. 2 miles south of Salcha, Alaska. Now, guys, last year at this time, we had a 5.0 large earthquake right here. 5.0 earthquake right here. We are still getting aftershocks today. This 1.4 tremor here is an aftershock of that quake. Further over here to the west, southwest of Fairbanks here, is a 1.1 tremor here, 14 miles southeast of Minto, Alaska. Southeast of Minto, Alaska, further up here to the north. Now, guys, I'm going to scroll up to the north here. Over here, you see an earthquake. This earthquake is on the southern edge of the Arctic Circle. The southern edge of the Arctic Circle here. This is a 2.8 minor earthquake. Northwest of Alatna, Alaska. Alatna, Alaska. Alatna, Alaska. Going over here into Canada. Canada. This is the 3.2 small earthquake here. This is 71 miles southwest of Inuvik, Alaska, or Inuvik, Canada. This is the Northern Territories of Canada. Northern Territories of Canada. We have no earthquakes above the Arctic Circle. No earthquakes north of the Arctic Circle today at all. None. None, guys. Now, I want to go south over here into Japan. Southeast of Hokkaido, Japan here. This is a 4.6 earthquake here. 4.6 motor earthquake here. This is 52 miles southeast of Hiru, Japan. Hiru, Hokkaido, Japan. There are other earthquakes over here, northeast of Honshu, Japan. Other earthquakes around Japan. USGS is not showing them to us. You'll have to go to go over to the European Agency to see the earthquakes. We go down here into Indonesia and even over here in the Philippines. We have earthquakes in central Philippines today. We have earthquakes off the northeast coast of Big Island, the Philippines, called Mindanao, Philippines. These are small 3.2, 3.6 earthquakes. Not a big deal. Going down here into central Indonesia, north central Indonesia here. This is a little bit different story. Okay? This is a 5.1 earthquake here. A 5.1 earthquake. 81 kilometers, or I'm sorry, not 81 kilometers. It's about 160 kilometers, 81 miles southeast of Belitung, Indonesia. Now, guys, this is a large 5.1 earthquake. About 3 months ago, we had a 7.4 earthquake in the same region, in the same ocean here. This is an aftershock from that earthquake. This is a 5.1 aftershock from that 7.4 earthquake that happened here in Indonesia. Now, I'm going to back out here. Look at this. They show no earthquakes at all here in Indonesia. None. There are 44 earthquakes here in Indonesia. They show us one. One earthquake. Let me show you something, guys. Whenever I have the opportunity, I show you what's going to happen. That's because it's going to happen. When we have earthquakes, earthquakes are only the invitation to find out what's going to happen. Some of these minor and small earthquakes are there because They're pointing the way to things that are going to happen in the future. Let me show you what's going to happen here. Bring up our webcam for this. Look at all these earthquakes over here in Indonesia. Incredible. Again, this is something that USGS does not want us to see. They're hiding data. They're hiding information. Look at that earthquake over here in northwestern Australia as well. Northwestern Australia as well. Guess what? They're not showing us anything here in northwestern Australia. I shouldn't say northwestern, north central Australia here. This is a 3.1 earthquake here. 3.1 earthquake here. This is near Neil, Western Australia. 3.1 earthquake here near Neil, Western Australia here. It's out here in the desert. It's out here in the desert, guys. Nobody probably even felt this earthquake. Nobody felt it at all. It's only a 3.1 small earthquake. Unless somebody's hiking that region, which sometimes they do. They're camping this region, sometimes they do that. It's the desert here of Australia. They may have felt it as well because it's only a small earthquake. But there's something else going on here as well. Right down here. On the Antarctic Ridge. The Antarctic Ridge here, guys. We have a very strong earthquake here. This is a 6.0 very strong earthquake in the Western Indian Ocean here. The Western Indian Ocean here on the Antarctic Ridge, south of Australia here. 6.0 very strong earthquake. Okay? Earthquakes like this happen. They happen, guys. Now, in this case, I've told you that earthquakes matter. All earthquakes do matter. Now, in this case, this 6.0 earthquake may turn out to go westbound here. Westbound along the Antarctic Ridge here. And go up here into the Western Indian Ocean. This should be called the Eastern Indian Ocean here. Here they're calling it the Western Indian Ocean. They're wrong. This 6.0 earthquake is going to make its way up here into the southern part of the Indian Ocean here. Then it's going to break off here. It's going to break off here. It's going to go north into the what they call the Carlsbad Ridge here. I'm sorry, the Carlsberg Ridge. Then it's going to go north. The seismic energy is going to go north. Now, guys, when it does move, when this earthquake does move, we may not feel 6.0 energy, but we might. We might feel 6.0 energy going up here into the center part of the Indian Ocean. However, as this earthquake moves over here to the west here, it may lose some of its punch. Could lose some of its punch. As it migrates out here to the west and goes up here in the Indian Ocean, going to migrate here up into the Carlsberg Ridge here, could split off and go over here into Saudi Arabia or Oman. Or it could go up here into Iran. Could move here into Iran. So guys, during the next week or so, we're going to keep an eye on this earthquake because seismic energy moves along the edge of the plate. Seismic energy moves along the edge of the plate. And that's exactly where this earthquake is. It's on the edge of the Antarctic Ridge here, the edge of the plate. The border region between the Indo-Australia plate and the Antarctic Ridge, Antarctic plate here. So we're going to see some more energy here in the near future. Count on it. Count on it. Okay. Let's go north here. This time into Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea. USPS is showing us a 4.8 earthquake here. 4.8 earthquake right here. Right offshore here, guys. 4.8 earthquake right offshore. This is 36 miles north of Finch Haven, Papua New Guinea. Guess what? That's interesting. See this town away? There are some people who live here. This earthquake is out here in the open ocean. Out here in the open ocean, I don't think anybody even felt this earthquake. I don't think anybody even felt this earthquake. Fact of the matter is, I don't think anybody even felt this earthquake. That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, I want to go up here, scroll out here, and show you what is actually happening here in Papua, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea. Right here is Papua New Guinea. We go over here to the west. This is Papua, Indonesia here. This is the dividing line between the two nations. Over here to the south. Over here to the south end, Papua, Indonesia. 2.6 minor earthquake. 2.6 minor earthquake here. There are two other earthquakes here. This is a 3.4 earthquake there. Notice the increase in magnitude of strength of these earthquakes. 3.4 there. This is also 3.4 earthquake. Then we go over here to Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea. Interesting. Very interesting here. Right here. Highland, Papua New Guinea. Highland, Papua New Guinea. 3.4 small earthquake here. Going over to the northeast here. 2.7 minor earthquake. Again, minor earthquakes cannot be felt. Not a big deal. This is a 2.8 minor earthquake. Still not a big deal. Okay? But yet USGS shows only one earthquake. One earthquake here. Now, I'm going to go over here further to the west. You don't see any earthquakes here in the Solomon Islands here. None. No earthquakes here. There are no earthquakes here in Vanuatu at all. USGS is showing us one earthquake right here. This is a large 5.3 earthquake here. Large 5.3 earthquake. Interesting enough, guess what? Guess what, guys? 5.3 earthquake out here in the Pacific Ocean, 174 miles west, northwest of Nyafu, Tonga. Nyafu Tonga is right there. This earthquake was not felt at all. The Pacific Ocean waters here absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. But what they're not telling you is We have an earthquake to the north here. That earthquake to the north is a 4.7 minor earthquake. Or not 4.7 minor, but 4.7 moderate earthquake here. 4.7 moderate earthquake here. They're not showing that. 4.7 moderate earthquake. This has a depth. This has a depth. Moderately deep earthquake here. Moderately deep earthquake. This is 255 miles deep. 255 miles deep. This is not going to propagate a larger shallower quake. This moderate earthquake here is not going to propagate a larger shallower quake. Today. Now south of there, southwest of that 5.3 earthquake, we have another 4.5 earthquake here in the southern Fiji region. 4.5 earthquake here, guys. Guess what? This is 382 miles deep. 382 miles deep. Now, guys, I'm going to do something here for you. I'm going to turn this into kilometers here. This happens to be 614 kilometers deep. This is a deep earthquake here. This is a deep earthquake. This deep earthquake is going to propagate a larger, shallower quake within the next 3 to 10 days. It's going to propagate a larger, shallower quake within the next 3 to 10 days. Now, how big a quake? I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. I'm going to take down a USGS map here. Here, this is 614 kilometers deep. Over here in the fourth column over to the right, in the center here, you see 615 kilometers deep. Guess what? We're going to add a 1.25 to this earthquake. We're going to add a 1.25 to the magnitude of this earthquake, which means, guys, this 4.5 earthquake is going to propagate a 5.7 large earthquake. This 4.5 earthquake here in the southern Fiji Islands here is going to propagate a larger shallower quake of 5.7 to 5.8 within the next 3 to 10 days. So we're going to see a much larger earthquake here very shortly here. Now, guys, USGS never shows us earthquakes here in New Zealand. They never show us earthquakes here in New Zealand. Yesterday, I did show you earthquakes here in New Zealand. I'm going to show you a few more earthquakes today. We have earthquakes here. Regardless of what USGS says, we have earthquakes here. Most of these earthquakes are on the North Island here. Most of these earthquakes are on the North Island. Now, if you've not been paying attention to this program, here in the center part of the North Island of New Zealand, we have a supervolcano here, right here. It's called Lake Taupo or Taupo Lake. Topo volcano here. That is a super volcano here. Again, USGS rarely even shows us earthquakes here in New Zealand. Rarely. Now, just a little bit further to the south, you see a volcano here. Rapaju volcano right there. Rapaju volcano. Off to the southeast side, the southeast flank of Rapaju volcano, we have a 2.77 minor earthquake. 2.77 minor earthquake. Rapaju volcano erupted about 5 years ago. Rapaju volcano erupted about 5 years ago. This is a 2.77 minor earthquake near Rapaju volcano. Again, I want to remind everybody, all of the volcanoes worldwide are recharging. All of the volcanoes worldwide are recharging, even Rapaju volcano. Up here at Topo volcano. Yes, we've had earthquakes and tremors here at Topo volcano as well. We don't have anything pertinent today at Topo volcano. However, north of Topo volcano here, we have a 2.6 earthquake here. Off to the east, off to the west, Topo volcano here, we have a 2.71 minor earthquake there. Going to the north here, up towards the ocean here, we have a 2.54 earthquake here. 2.54 earthquake here. It's called the Bay of Plenty here. 2.54 earthquake here on North Island, just south of the Bay of Plenty here. Now look where this earthquake is. It's on the western side of the Fiji earthquake fault, the Fiji Ridge earthquake fault. Over on the east side of that fault, we have a 2.32 earthquake there. Yes, this fault is responsible for these earthquakes here. They're right next to the fault line, right next to the undersea ridge here. Okay, let's go north. Over here on the shoreline of New Zealand here, we have a 3.25 earthquake, 3.25 small earthquake. Going north into the Bay of Plenty here, we have a 3.06 earthquake, small earthquake. Just north there, we have a 3.21 earthquake here. Now, going over here closer to the Fiji Ridge here, this is a 2.87 minor earthquake. 2.87 minor earthquake. Interesting, huh? It is. It truly is. But again, our wonderful U.S. agency is not showing us what's going on here. Seismic energy coming out of Fiji is causing these earthquakes. Seismic energy coming out of Fiji is causing these earthquakes. Go over here right along the fault line here. 2.54 earthquake here. 2.54 earthquake here. Then we go up here to the north here. Again, USGS is not showing us this at all. The Kermadec Islands here. 2 earthquakes here. This is a 3.51 here. Right between the Fiji and the Tongan Trench here. That's a 3.51. This is a 3.32 earthquake here. Small earthquakes here in the Kermadec Islands here. USGS is silent about it. Silent. They don't want to show them here. They don't want to show them here. Now down here in the water separating North and South Island here. Down here in this waterway here, this is called the Cook Strait. The Cook Inlet is over in Alaska. This is the Cook Strait here. We have some minor earthquakes here. These are only minor earthquakes here in Cook Strait. On the north end of the island, going south here, the southern island, North Bank, New Zealand, 2.24 minor earthquake here. 2.24 minor earthquake. Not a big deal, huh? Two earthquakes down here to the southwestern side of the South Island here. Right here. This is the 3.15 earthquake here. Just south there is a 2.79 minor earthquake here. That's what's going on here in New Zealand. Again, the Tongan Trench goes right through the southern part of the North Island there. It continues over here on the South Island. Cuts the South Island in half here. Goes down here on the southern part of the island. That's why we have earthquakes here, as you can see. That's why we have earthquakes here. Again, maybe you learned something about New Zealand. We do have people from New Zealand watch our program. That's why we try to cover these earthquakes. I think it's very important we talk about these earthquakes. Okay? Now, I want to go over to the island of Hawaii real quick. Let's scroll out of New Zealand here. Let's go north here into the islands of Hawaii. Over here on the Big Island, the good old Big Island guys. Look at all these earthquakes here. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 earthquakes here. 17 earthquakes. No earthquakes here to the north at all. One down here. Southwestern Big Island here. This is a 2.3 earthquake here. This is a 2.3 earthquake here, guys. This is important. On Saturday, we had a 5.1 large earthquake here. A 5.1 large earthquake. Why? Let's zoom in here. See this fault line here? Running over here on the western side of Mauna Loa. Mauna Loa volcano is right here. There's a fault line here, guys. A rift zone. A rift zone. That's why we had this large earthquake here on Saturday. There was some damage to homes here in Honolulu, Napupu here. Honolulu, Napupu here. I know I butchered that. The first word is Honaunau. The second word, Napupu, is Napoo, Hawaii. 2.31 earthquake here today. But Saturday, we had a 5.1 large earthquake. Now, what scientists do fear is this rift zone will separate from the Big Island. They fear that this rift zone will separate from the Big Island. I personally don't think it will happen in our lifetime. I do not think it will happen in our lifetime. However, I want to give you the reason for it. The reason for it is this, okay? This part of the Big Island rests on very soft land. Rests on very soft land, okay? The volcanoes here of the Big Island made the Big Island as it is. The volcanoes itself are very heavy. They're very heavy. They're pressing on the landmass below the volcano. The heavy lava here is pressing on the landmass below the volcano. The heavy landmass is pressing on that. That's why they fear this land is going to fall into the ocean here. That's what they fear. This 5.1 earthquake over here on the southwestern shore of the Big Island was felt over here at Hilo, Hawaii, right there. Felt all the way up here to the northern capital of Hilo, Hawaii here. Felt all over the island here. Felt literally all over the island. It was felt over at Kilauea volcano, all the way over here into Leilani Estates, over here in Fern Forest as well, right there. Fern Forest is right here. We have two earthquakes here. Two earthquakes here. This is a 1.8 tremor here. This is a 2.2 minor earthquake. 2.2 minor earthquake here. Okay. Over here at Kilauea. Kilauea stopped erupting. The end of last week, we saw the last eruption from Kilauea. Now, something else is going to happen here. Notice USGS has put up a steam signal here, a steam plume from Kilauea. Guys, Kilauea volcano is going to erupt again. We have already seen, I believe, 47 eruptions from Kilauea already this year. 47 events. 47 eruptive events. Maybe we'll see 48, 49, and 50, and even more. But right now, Kilauea is quiet. However, when we see these lava plumes here, that only means that Kilauea is not sleeping. It's not sleeping. There is still magma down here below the south side of the volcano. Below the south end of the volcano here. Okay? I want to make that clear. Yes, it's showing almost no activity at all at Kilauea. Kilauea is still active. Kilauea is still active. And look how it's risen here. Look at the caldera floor of Kilauea. It is risen within maybe 75 feet of the rim of the volcano. The eruptive lava has raised the floor of the volcano within about 75 feet of the rim of the volcano. We shall see what we shall see when the rim of the volcano is moved. When the rim of the volcano is moved. It is possible sometime this year we may see the rim move, meaning the lava caldera will go up over the rim for the first time in tons of years. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a ton of years. Okay? Let's go back here to the west to Mauna Loa. Mauna Loa volcano. Right here. Okay? Right here. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. This over here by the rim of Mauna Loa volcano. Rim of Mauna Loa volcano here. This is a 1.7 tremor here. 1.7 tremor. This is 1.8 tremor here. This is 1.5. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. Now these earthquakes here are down towards the center of the flank of the volcano. This is a 2.0. This is also 1.9, 2.0 earthquake here. Going down here to the flank of the volcano here. Down here at or near Pahala, Hawaii. This earthquake is north of Pahala, Hawaii. 11 kilometers north of Pahala, Hawaii. This is a 1.9, 2.0 earthquake here. 11 miles north of Pahala, Hawaii. Right here. South of Pahala, Hawaii here, We have 1.8 tremor here. 1.8 tremor. Tremors and minor earthquakes cannot be felt. Today, and I believe they're still there, members of our EMA family are here in Pahala, Hawaii. Laura and John that sent us that card yesterday were visiting their granddaughter here in Pahala for her graduation. Last year at this time, their grandson was graduating. Now their granddaughter is graduating from Pahala High School here. Okay? We have our own family members here in Pahala, Hawaii. Okay? So we talked about those earthquakes here. Let's go offshore a little bit. Off the southeastern shore of the Big Island here. This is a 1.8 tremor here. 11 kilometers northeast of Pahala. 1.8 tremor. This is a 2.1 minor earthquake. 14 kilometers northeast of Pahala, Hawaii. Earthquakes continue happening here. Down here to the south, off the island. Again, off the island. We have an undersea volcano here. We have an undersea volcano here. We have a 1.7 tremor here. 15 kilometers southeast of Nahu, Hawaii. This is an undersea volcano. This is a 1.8 tremor here. 17 kilometers southeast of Nahu, Hawaii. Down here to the south, this is a 2.1 earthquake. 20 kilometers southeast of Nahu, Hawaii. Guys, as I said before, we're seeing earthquakes near volcanoes. All of the volcanoes worldwide are recharging. They are recharging, guys. Even the volcanoes in Hawaii are recharging. By the way, just to let you know, the earthquake here Saturday, 5.1, it was felt over here at Maui, felt at Kauai, and felt all the way up here near Honolulu. That 5.1 earthquake, the energy was felt all the way up here into Honolulu, Hawaii, just so you know. Unreal. Unreal. Now, I back out here. The area seen here in the Pacific Ocean is called the Pacific Rim. Why is it called the Ring of Fire? All the way down here to the Antarctic Ridge, we have volcanoes here. On the east side over here in South America, volcanoes line the Aztec Mountains here. And these mountains here, Aztec Maya Indians here that inhabited this region years and years ago. Volcanoes in the Andes Mountains here. Volcanoes going up here in Central America, Mexico, and even the west coast of North America, volcanoes. Alaska, volcanoes here. All the way through the Oceanian Ridge here, we have volcanoes. Kamchatka Peninsula, volcanoes here. Go figure. Volcanoes going over here into the Kuril Islands here in the northwestern Pacific Ocean and the Sea of Okhotsk here. Volcanoes here. And you know darn well that there are volcanoes over here in Japan. They have erupted in the past and are going to continue to erupt. The volcanoes go all the way over here into China, Taipei, Taiwan. They go down here into the Philippines, Indonesia, even over here into Australia. There's a reason they call it the Pacific Rim. The Pacific Rim of volcanoes. Volcanoes, guys. That's what we're having here. Volcanoes. Over here in Chile, again, USGS not even showing us all the earthquakes here in Chile. This is a drop in the bucket. This is very much a drop in the bucket, guys. I assure you it's very much a little bit in a bucket here. Tiny bit in a bucket. They're not going to be honest with us at all. They've never been honest with us at all. Down here in central Chile here. Central Chile down here. This is a 2.46 earthquake near Ovalle, Chile. Interesting to know. It's not the only earthquake here. It's not the only earthquake here. Okay. I actually hate the fact the USGS doesn't tell the truth at all. This is a 4.6 earthquake here. However, there is an earthquake further over here to the south right here. Here's a 4.5 earthquake here. USGS now have been showing us here. 4.5 earthquake right here. Crazy. This is insanity, guys. This is insanity. They're showing us 4.6, but they're not showing the 4.5 south of there. It's insane, guys. This is insane. Now, further to the north right here, we have a 3.8 earthquake here. Up here in northern Chile, they're not showing all the earthquakes here. There are 42 earthquakes here in northern Chile. 42, guys. 42. Look at this, guys. Why do I even bother showing these earthquakes? The simple reason is this, guys. We need to show them. We need to show them. Right here. 4.7 earthquake here. This is 98 kilometers southwest of Coloma, Chile. Coloma, Chile. Guess what? What do we have over here in Coloma, Chile during the weekend? We had a 5.3 very destructive earthquake. A 5.3 very destructive earthquake here. This earthquake here is an aftershock. That's an aftershock. 4.7 aftershock. Guess what? This is a 5.1 aftershock. 5.1 aftershock. Saturday's earthquake was a 5.3. This is a 5.1 large earthquake. Aftershock, guys. Aftershock. But again, why in heck can they not show these earthquakes? Why in heck can they not show these earthquakes? Plenty of earthquakes in the region. Plenty of them, guys. 4.6, 4.5, 4.7, 4.8, 3.9, 3.5 earthquakes. Why are they not showing them here? Your guess is almost as good as mine. Your guess is almost as good as mine. Right here. Offshore Peru here. Right alongside the shoreline here. A 4.4 earthquake here. 4.4 moderate earthquake here. Right here near Mazla, Peru. Mazla Cruz, Peru. Another 4.4 earthquake here. Southern Peru, guys. Southern Peru in the Andes Mountains this time. They're not even being truthful to us at all. They can't be truthful at all. Going up here to Ecuador. Right here in Ecuador. Here's another 4.4 moderate earthquake here. 4.0 moderate earthquake here. Going north into Colombia. They have earthquakes here, USGS not showing them. This is the 3.5 earthquake there. West and north of there is a 2.4 minor earthquake. 2.4 minor earthquake near Valle del Cauca, Colombia. Going to the west here, Cundinamarca, Colombia, we have a 2.5 minor earthquake. Going north, 2.7 minor earthquake. 2.7 minor earthquake. Then I want to go up here to the north here. Right here. Right here. Corozal, Zuila, Venezuela. Corozal, Venezuela right here. We have a 2.3 earthquake here. 2.3 earthquake here. And of course, USGS is not going to show them to us. Insanity, guys. This is insanity. Heaven forbid they show us this. Puerto Rico, guys. Puerto Rico. We have 3 earthquakes here in southwestern Puerto Rico. This is a 2.6. This is a 2.2 near Fuig, Puerto Rico. This is a 2.5 west-northwest of Indio, Puerto Rico. All these 3 earthquakes are aftershocks. They are aftershocks of 2 major earthquakes that hit here December 26th and December 28th, 2019. December 26, 2019, we had an 8.0 major earthquake here. Man-made earthquake. Man-made earthquake. On December 28th, we had an 8.4 man-made earthquake. Man-made earthquake. These 3 earthquakes right here are aftershocks of those 2 major earthquakes here 6.5 years later. 6.5 years later, we're still having aftershocks. That's what happens when you have a major earthquake. You have aftershocks for years and years afterwards. Years and years afterwards. That's why we're still seeing earthquakes in the Turkish-Syria border region, because we have that 9.0, 10.0 earthquake in the Turkish-Syria border region. We have anywhere from 30 to 40 earthquakes there a day, every day. Further over here to south central Puerto Rico here, this is a 1.9 tremor here. Out here off the southeastern coast here, this is a 2.0 earthquake here. Those two earthquakes have nothing to do with those earthquakes in the southwestern Puerto Rico area. Over here, in the Mona Strait here, the body of water between Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic is called the Mona Strait. This is a 3.3 earthquake here. 3.3 earthquake here. Off the northeast coast of the Dominican Republic here, we have another earthquake here. This one is a 3.3 earthquake here. 3-point earthquakes can be felt. This is just offshore. It's very possible if these people don't live right along the coastline that they may not have felt anything happening here. If they don't live right along the coastline, they probably didn't even feel this earthquake. It was just barely off the coast here. Let's back out here. Northeast of Puerto Rico here, in the Caribbean Sea here, we have some earthquakes here. Let's investigate and find out why. This earthquake is a 3.5 earthquake. This is a 3.0 earthquake. Up to the northwest is a 3.6 earthquake. Almost straight here to the northeast is another 3.0. And this is a 2.1 earthquake here down to the south. Why do we have earthquakes here? The simple answer is this. See the earthquake fault here? It's called the Cayman Ridge. It's an undersea earthquake fault. Again, the edge of the plate here. The edge of the plate. It comes out of over here in Guatemala. Comes out of Guatemala here and runs through the Caribbean here. Takes a stint to the north here, up toward the Cayman Islands here. Then it continues its trip eastbound, past Jamaica, north of Jamaica, skirts the southern shore of Colombia, goes north of Haiti here, continue eastbound, north of the Dominican Republic here, north of Puerto Rico here, goes out here into the Atlantic Ocean, goes east of and then south in the Atlantic Ocean here, east of the Leeward Islands here, east of Leeward Islands. Then it continues south here, till it gets over towards Venezuela. Then it makes a westward turn here towards Venezuela and goes over here in northern Venezuela here, into Barbados and Trinidad here, islands here. Okay? That's why we get earthquakes here. The Cayman Ridge. Here. Does anybody have any questions for me? Anybody have any questions for me, guys? I'm going to get out of here. I've told you a lot about what's going on. I think what I'm going to do is not belabor this program any further. Many of you want to have dinner and everything else. Tomorrow evening, we'll come back here just about 4 p.m. Eastern Time with another episode of Emergency Management Associates on the Air. Tomorrow night, we'll give you a report of injuries and any more deaths from Washington State, from the paper plant in Washington State. Very sad that happened. Again, President Trump is ending his news conference in the Camp David estate, where the president usually goes to vacation. He's been holding a cabinet meeting in the Camp David estate. He did not sign any agreements with anyone from the Middle East at all. Let me give you just a heads up here. Iran has not signed off on any peace treaty. They've agreed in principles to a peace negotiation paper. Iran has agreed in principle to a peace paper, but that's all. Iran, if they continue violating the ceasefire, U.S., Israel, and Iran will go to war again. Then Iran will be destroyed. Now, given that situation, there's something else you need to know. The president of Iran has given the okay to restart the internet in Iran. The president of Iran has reinstated the internet, at least 75 to 80% of the internet in Iran right now. We'll see what happens. In other words, they are restoring some freedoms to the Iranian people. But again, if they cannot come to an agreement, President Trump said he will take them out. He said he will take them out. Plain and simple. That's what's going on in Iran right now. Iran has agreed in principle, but they've not surrendered at all. There's been no peace negotiation at all. We'll see what happens. The guys, Linda Covington is here in the chat, says grab your umbrellas. That's because we're going to have some more thunderstorms and rain throughout the night. Grab your umbrellas if you're here on the East Coast, because it's going to rain. It's going to rain through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, going up into Virginia, possibly even into Washington, D.C., that area. We'll see what happens. Guys, I want to leave you with a scripture before we leave here tonight. I am taking this scripture directly from St. John. St. John, 12th chapter, verse 24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. Guys, we will bring forth much fruit. Our ancestors bring forth much fruit in us. Our children will bring forth much fruit after we're gone. And we're going to live again. Okay? Jesus Christ is about to return. It wouldn't surprise me we'll see him very soon. In John chapter 12, verse 12, on the next day, much people that were come to the feast, when they heard that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem, he's going to come again. He's going to come again. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. God be with you until we meet again. If anything happens between now and tomorrow, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Until then, God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love. See you soon. Take it easy.
Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard, So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you guys. Say prayers for all of our family. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody.